Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
It's our TOEIC unit for the month of June, and today we're talking about something called fair trade products. Fair trade products. Maybe you've heard of this before. Basically, what fair trade products are products that are produced and the people who produce them are given fair pay for them. They're not exploited, they're not abused, and you can feel good about yourself if you buy such products.
Yeah, a lot of the workers in underdeveloped countries especially are not being paid very good wages. So the people that own the business are the ones that are making all the money. Now, I'm all for owners of businesses getting their fair share. They're the ones taking the risk. But we need to be better about the people we employ, especially if they're, having kids in these factories making things or out in the fields picking coffee beans. We want them to, get some of that profit that the company is really doing well with. So that's what fair trade is. Be good to the employees, the workers, and not just the owners of businesses or the stockholders.
That's right. So you want to become a conscious consumer with fair trade products. That's the subject for today's lesson, for today's TOEIC lesson. So let's get to it, everybody. We're going to read through the lesson for today, and we'll come back to talk about it.
Imani greets the audience at the Conscious Consumer Conference. Thank you all for coming today. You may have heard of fair trade because of certain businesses that are certified by us. For those of you who aren't as familiar or want to know exactly what fair trade does, this talk will hopefully shed some light on the subject. I'm here to show you why fair trade is a great choice for ethical consumerism, how it helps workers, and how to find fair trade items. It's a sad fact that much of the service and retail industry is built on the backs of the world's most disadvantaged people. Historically, these people haven't had the power to speak for themselves. But by joining fair trade, farmers and workers are given a voice. They have better housing and access to education, all because fair trade companies pay sustainable wages at or above market price. Fair trade practices have helped lift people out of poverty all over the world. So, how can we be conscious customers and make sure we support farmers? The easiest way is to look for the fair trade mark. Any products that show this mark have met the international fair trade standards. These apply to many farmed goods around the world, from coffee to fresh fruit to the cotton used to make your clothes. The next time you're out shopping, take a little extra time to look for the fair trade mark. Your purchase of that item equals real support for the people who made it. Thank you for listening.
Okay, everybody, what you've been looking forward to, the time you've looked forward to has arrived. We are now going to discuss the contents of today's lesson, becoming a conscious consumer with fair trade products. Conscious here is an adjective. It just means you're aware of your surroundings. You're conscious. You're awake. You're not sleeping. You haven't been knocked unconscious. You're conscious. But also this kind of means you are aware of problems that are out there and you're doing something about it, okay? You're going to develop a conscious about something. You're going to, realize that your actions have consequences and you want to help out the world and stuff like that. So if you want to help out the world and be fair to people, you want to be a conscious consumer. Beware of what you're buying. Make sure you buy products that help people out. And you're doing this with fair trade products. Okay, that's the subject of today's lesson, all about fair trade products.
Cool. Yeah, if you're a conscious consumer, you're someone who really cares about not just the quality of the product you buy, but how it's made. And if the people making it are being paid fair wages and have a good working environment, things like that. So we've got someone who's actually giving a talk or a speech. You can say giving a talk if you want. Or making a presentation, giving a presentation at something called Conscious Consumer Conference. Now, anyone who's out there and has been working in business knows that every once in a while, maybe once or twice a year, you'll have a business conference to go to. It's usually out of the city or out of the state, maybe even out of the country. Kind of fun to go to, I think. You get to stay in a hotel, and usually it's 1 to 3 days of listening to different speakers. But here, they're really focusing in on one topic, and that's fair trade practices.
Indeed. So, of course, this is some kind of conference going on, and Imani, this person, is talking to this conference today. And Imani begins by saying, "Thank you all for coming today. You may have heard of fair trade because of certain businesses that are certified by us." So Imani's organization here certifies other organizations as being fair trade. So yes, maybe you've heard of fair trade because you have heard that we have certified certain businesses. So here, certify here means you give somebody certification. You say that they're qualified for something, they meet the guidelines or meet the requirements for this particular organization. So yes, indeed, if you're producing products that meet these guidelines, then you are certified, and then you can display this symbol on your products when you sell them.
Yeah, a lot of people in different industries have to get certification for different things. The factories here in Taiwan often have to get ISO 9001 certification. I'm always reading scripts that have, different ISO numbers and how they have to pass the standards to get that certificate or certification, which means you're legit, you're real, and you know what you're doing. So for those of you, she says, who aren't as familiar with fair trade or want to know exactly what fair trade does, this talk will hopefully shed some light on the subject. This is a phrase we use to shed light on something. Just means you kind of focus in on a topic and give someone more information so they're more clear about what it means and why it's important. A lot of times, having more information will help you make a good decision. So they're trying to give you that information, shed light on what they do, so that in the future, you'll support fair trade businesses.
Right, we're going to let some light shine on this information that you don't know about, so you're going to now know more than you used to know. And Imani goes on to say, "I'm here to show you why fair trade is a great choice for ethical consumerism, how it helps workers, and how to find fair trade items." So that's what Imani is doing today, trying to tell the audience that it is a great choice for ethical consumerism. So first of all, let's talk about the word ethical. Ethical means you have morals, you have principles, you're doing the right thing. It's similar to moral. Okay, you might have morals or you might have ethics, but to me, ethical means having to do with business usually, whereas morals is more about human conduct, how you behave with your fellow human beings.
Personal life,
Personal, it's more personal, whereas ethical is more with the companies and things like that. Consumerism, of course, is all about when people buy products and use them. It's concerning consumers and how they consume products.
Right. So moving on to the second paragraph here, it says, "It's a sad fact that much of the service and retail industry," that's one industry, guys, we'll often use service and retail together, "much of this industry is built on the backs of the world's most disadvantaged people. People that don't have a lot of advantages in this world are typically poor. They've had very little chances to get an education. So it's hard to get a very nice job if you don't have that education and if you don't have the money to even go and look for a job, maybe get some clothes for an interview. There are all those things that people who are poor can't do. So he's saying here, or she's saying, I'm the girl, service and retail. Retail just means the sale of goods to the public. So there are a lot of retail shops. If someone's in retail, just means they're selling some sort of product, typically, to consumers or customers. Notice the service industry is really providing more of a service, but retail is products or goods that are sold. So if you build something on the backs of someone else, it means you're taking advantage of them. They're suffering. Picture, some people who are working in a factory. They're bent over from stress and strain, and they've worked so hard trying to produce the products that the company wants. It really hurts them, and a lot of them have very short lifespans. Disadvantaged, as I said earlier, people who just are in a situation where they don't have many benefits or advantages that most of us have. We're so lucky to live in a developed country. This is a first world country in Taiwan. We have great education. We have access to great health care. It's, a wonderful place to live. We should all be grateful.
We should, but sometimes we take these things for granted.
Yeah.
We eat food and stuff like that, and we don't stop to think, gee, did somebody really suffer to produce this for us? Was there some company owner in some third world country employing people and paying them really low wages and making them work 20 hours a day and stuff like that?
Right.
So, yes, indeed, we're talking about disadvantaged people, people who can't protect themselves, people who can be easily abused. So historically, these people haven't had the power to speak for themselves. They're just trying to get by. They're trying to feed their families, so they have no choice but to take these kinds of jobs. And they are taken advantage of. But by joining fair trade, farmers and workers are given a voice. Again, this is what our guest speaker here is saying. If you participate in fair trade, this organization, if you are a farmer or a worker or someone who is disadvantaged, then you have a voice. That is, if you join fair trade, and they have better housing and access to education, all because fair trade companies pay sustainable wages at or above market price. Okay, so yes, indeed, if you are a farmer or a worker and you join fair trade, these companies that are participating will pay you sustainable wages. Okay, sustainable means it's enough money to live on, basically, and it's stable, okay? Some days you don't get paid less, and some days you get paid more. It's stable, and it's enough to live on. It is a fair wage.
That's great. So if it's at or above market price just means what the typical wage for that particular job would be. And some of these fair trade companies are actually paying their employees a better wage than market price, which is great. Fair trade practices have helped lift people out of poverty all over the world. We love that. So how can we be conscious customers or consumers and make sure we support farmers? Yeah, how do we do that? Well, the easiest way is to look for the fair trade mark. They've got their own logo. If you look it up online, it kind of looks like the Chinese yin and yang sign, but different colors. It's got sort of that feeling to it. I think it's blue and green.
Yep.
That's their symbol. So get to know that. Look for that symbol. Even here in Taiwan, Taipei has some fair trade practice businesses that you can go and support. I've seen some coffee shops in particular that are fair trade supporters, which we like. A lot of the coffee beans come from underdeveloped countries, and that's what they're trying to change, that the people who are actually doing the farming and the harvesting of the crops, that's such hard work, that they get paid better for their time and can actually make a pretty good living. It lifts them out of poverty.
That's right. So if you drink a cup of coffee from a can of coffee that had the fair trade mark, you you can be confident that the farmer who grew those beans is not being exploited and is living a happy life with his wife and kids. Okay, so moving on here, it says, any products that show this mark have met the International Fair Trade standards. So they have some standards that you have to meet. You have to be certified in order to have this mark on your product. And if you meet these qualifications, if you're certified, if you meet these standards, then you can have the fair trade mark put on your product so that when you're in the supermarket, you will see this mark on the product and you can buy it and feel happy that you're helping somebody out.
Yeah, speaking of marks on products, it reminds me of the Jewish mark for kosher food. They have standards that the food has to be prepared in a certain way, and if it is, they get that mark put on the product and it sells better. We did that when I was with a company that made something called apple chips. It was a Mitsubishi company, which was weird. Anyway, they're all wanting to get the fair trade mark, as this is an issue that's becoming more and more important to people as they get to know what's going on, as people are helped by others who can shed light on the subject. Remember that phrase? So these apply to many famed goods around the world, this mark, and meeting those standards, from coffee. We've been talking about how this is a big deal with coffee producers, to fresh fruit, which is another industry where we've got a lot of farmers in the fields, to the cotton used to make your clothes. My dad grew up very poor, and he worked in the fields harvesting cotton. So you're bent over all day long in the hot sun because cotton only grows in really hot, dry places. And he could tell you some stories about being a cotton picker. So these folks work very, very hard. We're just trying to make life a little bit fairer and better for them, of course. So yeah, you need to look around, see if you can see that mark on different products you buy.
Yep, so the next time you're out shopping, take a little time to look for the fair trade mark, and your purchase of that item equals real support for the people who made it. Thank you for listening. That's how Imani concludes this presentation. Okay, that brings us to the end of our presentation, or at least our explanation. It's time now to listen to our Chinese teacher.Hi
everyone, my name is Jenny. 好，我们今天要看一篇文章跟公平交易有关。好，公平交易 Fair Trade， 大家在买东西的时候会注意到上面是不是有一个公平交易的标志呢？如果你有，那就表示您是了解的。公平交易对我们的消费习惯会有改变，而且这是一个更好的消费选择。好，我们先看这个标题里头 Becoming a conscious consumer with fair trade products. Conscious 我们知道这表示有察觉到，有意识到。换句话说，如果是一个消费者，你是一个 conscious consumer， 你是有觉醒的，你是了解的，你是知道的这样子的一个消费者。那了解什么？当然就是 fair trade。这篇文章开头，这是以一位 Imani， 他在这个一个会议上跟观众打招呼，这是他谈话的内容。好，我们来看他说了什么。好，当然一开始就要谢谢大家今天来。You may have heard of fair trade. You may have heard of 这个地方要注意到 may 像这种语气助动词，不一定是 may， 有时候是 might。那后面你会用一个完成式，也就是 have 再加 pp， 像这里的 have heard。好，这表示什么呢？为什么用完成式？在语气助动词后头的这个完成式，其实也就是表示要区别出一个时间的概念来，表示是你之前可能就听说过，在这之前可能你就有听说过，所以它的时间点是指你过去当时之前有听过，不是以后未来。好，这就是一个最大的区别。注意到语气助动词后面加完成式的用法。好，接下来他说你有听过，那是因为你要知道有一些企业它得到了我们的认证，不过当然有一些人是没听过的。那如果是没听过的人，不太熟悉的人，你也许就会想要知道 那公平贸易到底在做什么呢？好，这边我们看一下这里 For those of you who aren't as familiar， 我们知道 as 在比较级的用法里面我们说 A is more blah 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 than B。 那如果你用 as 一般来说，像这里你会有一点好奇的是as familiar 后面怎么没有另外一个 as？ 当然这还是在讲两者之间，你和前面那一批人就是有听过的人来说，你可能没有那么熟悉。as 的第二个部分也就是 A as blah 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 as B， 那个 as B 不见了其实是没关系的，因为前后文交代的很清楚。好，那么如果这样子的话，你来这里今天就可以为这个主题提供一些解释了。我们注意到这个片语 shed light on， 这就跟中文字面的解释很像，就是好像绽放一线光芒，表示让你能够了解，有一些的了解。接下来我们就来看看他继续说什么。好，其实他说到很令人遗憾的就是其实那些服务业也好，零售业也好，你要知道他们赚钱事实上是利用那个世界上里面最弱势的这一群人来赚钱的。注意到 disadvantaged people， 这一些人事实上是居于劣势，也就是他们可能金钱上、经济上也好，教育上也好，都不及有钱人。可是我们知道is built on the backs， 在他们的背上盖起来，意思就是说你是靠他们，是利用他们来发展的，而这些人他自己却没有办法发声。所以说透过公平交易，当你用以市场价格或高于市场价格来付钱给这些人，他们就可以维持他们的生计，那么过得比较好，而且他们就会愿意用比较环保的方式，或者不要用劳工，让他们能够用正常合乎社会公平正义的方式来生产，然后他们也获得了应该要有的工资。所以说公平交易呢，可以帮助世界各地人摆脱贫困。注意到这个字 lift L-I-F-T， 我们知道 lift 本来就是可以当作提升，可是它如果跟禁令有关，就是 lift the ban on something， lift people out of something， 这个提升的意思就变成是说你把他们让他们救他们出来，让他们摆脱什么。好，这个地方就是指 lift people out of poverty， 让他们摆脱贫困。那要怎么样才可以成为我们现在这边要希望呼吁大家成为的 conscious consumers 呢？让大家成为觉醒的了解状况的这样子的客户呢？其实他说很简单，请大家去找这样子的一个号志，就是 Fair Trade Mark。 当你找到这些 Fair Trade Mark， 就表示说这些产品它是符合国际公平交易的标准的。好，符合标准，注意到了这里有一个动词 met 是 M-E-E-T meet的过去跟过去分词，那这里当然是过去分词的形式。 meet a standard 就表示符合标准。好，当然有时候 meet someone's expectations 就表示符合谁的期待。 OK， 我们今天讲解到这边，我们下次见。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
All right, we've got some extra dialogues and some discussion questions to continue with our lesson about fair trade products. So here we've got a conversation between Hans and Imani. So I'm going to be Hans, okay?
Okay.
Aside from paying a fair wage, what do these companies have to do to be fair trade certified?
Businesses need to be transparent about their supply chain and buy from producers who are paid fairly. So your supply chain just refers to where you're getting everything. So if you're a farmer, you're going to have to be buying seeds, maybe some fertilizer. These are people who aren't actually growing the beans, but they're contributing to that final product, which is harvested by the workers in the field. So you need to know if every step along the way of that supply chain, their employees from the different companies below you are treating their employees fairly. That's important.
That's right. So they got to let them show. They got to show what they're doing and how they're getting these products to make sure everybody is being paid fairly. Here comes our next extra dialogue. You be Lila.
Okay, you're going to have to be a girl, though. Here we go. What are some of the businesses that sell, for instance, fair trade coffee?
One great local coffee supplier I recommend is called Oko Green.
I think the name of the company is sort of a giveaway, or what a giveaway means here is just a hint, kind of lets you know that they're concerned about green things because it's Oko Green. So, yeah, a lot of the fair trade businesses I see, they have names that kind of give you the feeling that, you know, they practice fair trade themselves. So, yeah. So that's one company that practices fair trade. Here's the next one. I'd like to invite everyone to try some Taiwan-grown fair trade tea in the lobby.
Wow, I didn't know Taiwan grew fair trade tea.
I did. Yeah, you hear about it more and more. You know, I don't have a TV, but I do look online at the news. So, yeah, it's becoming a bigger and bigger deal around the world. I think it's great. And Taiwan is always very concerned about social issues like this.
Yeah, my problem with buying tea in Taiwan is that you need to know if it's actually grown in Taiwan.
Yeah.
I think there was a time when they said, well, you got to be careful because sometimes they sell tea that's imported.
Right.
And there's no way to know if it's the real Taiwan stuff. I'm here in Taiwan. I know the tea here in Taiwan is the good stuff. That's what I want to drink. But I also want to know if it's fair trade tea.
Yeah, if it's fair trade, they have to actually let you know where it's grown.
Yeah,
they
like
can't hide that.
or something like that.
Yeah, it can't be hidden.
Can't be hidden. It's got to be transparent. Their supply chains all need to be transparent. Okay, here we come with some discussion questions. Do you think that the general public is well informed about fair trade goods? What did you know about this concept before reading this talk?
Do I think the general public knows? Well-informed, I think, is a little too much. I think the general public have probably heard about it. A lot of people who are busy with their lives, they probably haven't paid attention to it. But yeah, if you keep up in social issues, political issues, business issues, you probably know quite a bit about it. I've seen documentaries about it. Even Netflix had a cool documentary about the supply chain of clothes and how we are way overproducing clothes and how it's affecting our earth. So
yeah, that's fast fashion, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good, actually. So I think if you just look around, you can find out a lot more about fair trade. Just need to be aware and have a desire to learn more.
Yeah, I think I'm going to look at the packaging when I go to the supermarket and see if I can find that fair trade mark there.
Now I'm going to look for it. I had never seen their actual logo.
It's kind of cute, actually.
Yeah.
As you said, it kind of looks like the Taiji symbol of Taoism. So, indeed, I'd like to see that on some products. Okay, that brings us to the end of our explanation for today. That's all the time we have for today, so thanks for joining us, and please join us again next time when we continue to talk about fair trade. Until then, for English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.